Launch of Change 7 delayed this year, puzzling many. 4 months left, no launch window. Examining Change 7 shows stricter needs than usual lunar missions. Debunking this black hole illusion helps locate the universe's missing 85% mass. Rocket launch must sync with Moon's position for successful trajectory and braking. These windows occur frequently, but this is only a basic requirement. More constraints apply. Timing is key for arrival. Change 7 will orbit the Moon before landing. In orbit, scout poles for landings, day-night cycle, 30 Earth days. Change 7 aims to image Antarctica for 2 to 3 lunar cycles. This extended period allows a more comprehensive understanding of the terrain and lighting conditions. Delay of 60 to 90 days pushes back lunar orbit insertion and landing. This impacts later phases. The real challenge is the cumulative effect of these constraints. Third, Change 7 targets a limited South Pole landing site to locate water. Pre-selected area near Shackleton Crater, 88S. Elevation allows access to shadowed craters. Issue arises from uneven highlands, craters, rocks, steep slopes. Safe landing spots are rare, needing flat, stable grounds. Close to permanent shadows, but not too far, reducing viable sites. Another crucial condition marks the fourth phase, the lunar address. The mission must fit the low-light season at the Moon's South Pole. Gas heated to billions of degrees, not a black hole. 180 days of sunlight, yet cold temps and shadows limit stable detector use to short periods. Solar power is vital for Change 7's gear over 100 days. The detector must reach the site before the polar day window to ensure energy. Launch of Change 7 depends on safe terrain, orbit timing, South Pole light, and solar power. Wait till next year for successful Change 7 launch. Your support is needed for this mission. Subscribe to our channel for updates and more. Zwicky coined dark matter for this common unseen force. Galaxy edges spin faster than predicted. Dark matter makes up 85% of the universe's mass. Visible stars are just 15%. Everything else accounts for 15%. The rest is invisible to detectors. Gravity makes them fascinating together. Black hole at galactic center, not directly confirmed. Missing mass, or dark matter, remains unseen in 85% of universe's mass. Unsolved mystery. In 2026, Crespi's team turned invisible mass into black holes. They claim our galaxy's center has dark matter, made of dark fermions. Fermions follow the Pauli exclusion principle. Fermions can't share space, bouncing apart under pressure.